Cancel.
Squeezy.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. There will be hot goth girls with big titties. Or however the song goes, I don't know. Today on Cancel Shweezy, we're really straightened back into movie reviews. I figured out how to be more efficient with them. Because now we can go back into doing them again. So,
because
apparently movies are hard to talk about. So let's talk about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory while the Wonka franchise is still somewhat being popular from the Timothée Chalamet movie, which I gotta say though, I think Timothée Chalamet is a great actor. You know, nothing bad against his work. I don't have any complaints about how he works, but I do think he's kind of cool because the rumors I heard are that he fucked his way through NYU college acting or whatever. And I gotta say, if it was all consensual, respect. But if one of them wasn't consensual, no respect at all. I don't know. I think, guys, I don't know. Something's cool about having a lot of consensual sex. Consensual, the word here, folks. There's something cool about consensual sex. You know what I'm saying? Do we have the right one?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But let's talk about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We're not talking about the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which, as you know, because apparently, Roald Dahl did not like this adaptation of the movie. The one I think is a classic, just a cinematic classic. He would have preferred the Tim Burton one because the Tim Burton one was was more accurate to the book and the ideas of the book, but there's just some fucking wrong things about that version. So we're talking about the good one. And also Gene Wilder, okay? Gene Wilder it's crazy to think that like the year, you know, you think about the year this movie came out and you're just like, oh, Gene Wilder was funny back then. Like, and he was funny up until the day he died. Funny guy. If you haven't watched Blazing Saddles, first of all, what's wrong with you? You need to watch Blazing Saddles. Just watch anything Gene Wilder's been in just because like that dude is just fucking hilarious. Like he's hilarious. And he's the kind of hilarious that like as time passes on, his comedic genius aged well. And like you just like look at that stuff like relatable, funny, relatable, you know, shit like that. So, you know, they would say this one.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's jump into Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The good version with my arch nemesis. We'll get into that in a bit. So we start off with the character Charlie Bucket. His last name is Bucket. Okay, I don't know how you get that last name. Aren't last names, because like my last name is Schwegler, and that's German for flute player. So it's easy to assume that I have always been a poor musician in every life, in my life. So I don't know where you get the last name Bucket from, but apparently it's because they're the poorest family in the entire city. Is it London? I don't know. I feel like it's London. That makes the most sense. And also, Gene Wilder has an American accent. So there's accents are a little off, but some characters in America, surprisingly, all the chocolate, you know, golden ticket winners were white too. I didn't want to bring that up, but I guess I just did. He is the poor paper boy, and we're gonna get into more of it. But he loves candy, and a weird thing that you don't think about is like the sugar industry really took control of the world, you know, and so it's just like, oh, if I want candy, I could probably just like look around my house and find some. Where back in the day, you know, I talked to my mom, like, so it was like candy, chocolate, sugar, all that stuff. Was that like more, did you not get that as much when you were a kid? You know, you just ask any older person, they're like, yeah, we didn't get it as much. And then now our generation is like all sugar, everything's just candy. nowadays. It's just straight up just candy. So like it was a different time back. They didn't have cell phones. How would they have done this? How would they have done this sweepstakes in 2024? They would have just had no winners. Like, just be like, everyone buy chocolate or whatever. They passed by like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. This is the beginning of the movie, so we're like, let's get introduced to our main characters. And so you got some fucking. It says a tinkerer. That's what my notes say. A tinkerer was like, told him the backstory of Wonka's little factory, the background that we all needed to know. Where it was like, hey, he closed off the factory. No one knows what goes on in there, but they do make chocolate. And I'm like, okay, someone's gonna have to go in there get the chocolate shipments. There's a whole bunch of shit that has to go down to have a business. You can't be like completely hidden from the world. You can have, and the security of that place was okay because like you would die. Everyone just dies when they walk in there anyway. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But then we get to Charlie's bedridden Grandpa Joe, who is the worst human being to ever. My arch nemesis. I know the actor died in like the 80s. I looked it up because I don't like his face. Why do I not like his face? Because he was such a good actor. That is something like, you're a good actor when people hate you. Like, people just fucking hate you. You're just like, I guess he's a good actor. I guess because I fucking hate him. Like, he's so good at his part. You're just like, I just fucking hate the guy. So I fucking hate Grandpa Joe. And he's just like, oh yeah. So what was Grandpa Joe? What of his fucking whatever he says? And surprisingly, it's true. But Grandpa Joe is a drug addict. Not the good kind. Not the ones that are fun. The bad kind that make your life worse. You know how there's like some drug addicts and there's like, oh, you make things worse for me. That's the kind of drug addict Grandpa Joe is. At one point he was just like, Charlie, thank you for getting my tobacco, but I don't need it. I'm trying to quit. And then they get it from anyways. I'm like, of course he's smoking still. He's bedridden, but he's physically fit. I don't know what the other fucking people in that fucking bed are. You gotta guarantee that house smells like fucking shit. Dude, you can't tell me I sleep in my bed, and I think my bed gets kind of smelly after a couple days because I'm sleeping on it, and it soaks into the sheets and shit like that. I can't imagine they're washing that bed. Like, how are they supposed to? You're like, all right, guys, get up. We got to take the sheets off to wash them. You think anyone else in that bed but Grandpa Joe is gonna be able? Grandpa Joe gets up first, like, oh, I'm so tired. It hurts and shit. Like, fuck you, Grandpa Joe, and fuck you. You're eating your goddamn cabbage soup. You should be fucking supporting your goddamn family, dude. Your son, I don't know if it was your son or that's your daughter or whatever. Also, I feel like there's a reason to say, since in the book, Charlie's dad's alive and works, has a job and shit. But in like this movie, his dad's dead for some reason. I don't know why they decided that. And they're all eating their goddamn cabbage water. I think it's just called cabbage soup or some bullshit like that. And it's just like Charlie's skinny as any can be. No, he has none of them back teeth either, too. Like, they're just fucking little points and shit like that. If you look at the picture, you know. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm just complaining about Grandpa Joe. I just fucking hate that guy. Fuck that guy, dude. Like, what? Like, seriously? Seriously, you're just gonna be a burden to other people when you're fine, I don't know. No. Back to what I was trying to say though. If my dad's parents were still alive, and they were bedridden, and also in my house, at some point I had to be like, where is that goddamn Social Security check? Because I'm taking your money from it. If you're just going to lay in a bed in the living room and stink up the place, I'm taking your money. You know what? Like, what are you going to like fucking stand up to me? Are you going to call the cops? Who do you think they're going to believe? The person who's walking or the person who is bedridden? You know? Just saying. Let's move on. All right, so Wonka announces he put 5 golden tickets into 5 chocolate bars. And we'll get to the reasoning why he did this later. But yeah. Basically, half the movie is literally just like, who's getting the golden ticket? You know, if you watch it I used to watch it on TV all the time, and they condensed this part, which they should have, because there's a lot of just fucking stupid shit going on here, like half-attempted jokes that did not go through well. I don't think I've ever watched this movie not be like, just like aired on TV or wherever, you know, like I've never watched like the actual feature-length film, but it was split up into like a mini-series too, if I remember correctly. If I remember history correctly. So after the 5 golden tickets, we get all the winners of here. Let's look at all the winners. First we got Augustus Gloop. You know, you hear the last name Gloop, and you're like, I bet that's a fucking fat piece of shit kid. And you're right, it's just a kid who eats a lot, and that's how he got the fucking chocolate bar. It's because he ate a lot. And you're like, I guess, you know, it's a numbers game at that point. If you're fat and you want to win in a contest where you have to eat food to win a prize, I think that's, you know, he wins. You know, I don't know if he should have been the first one to die, but you never know. Then we got Veruca Salt, who has a rich dad, and basically how they rigged the system. I don't think, you know, he bought cases upon cases upon cases of Wonka chocolate bars and just had his employees just look through all of them, trying to see if they could find the one with the, you know, the golden ticket. And that's how they found it. Which I feel, you know, I don't think we want to say that counts. But I guess it does. It's kind of a bitch, though. And then, and then they're like, then the 2 Americans. Okay. We got Violet Beauregard, who she chews gum a lot. I think she's just a kid. Violet, I feel like her dad needs to be like, hey, quit being a little piece of shit. But I feel like out of all the kids, I think she's, minus Charlie. Charlie's like supposed to be like pure of heart. Even though he's going to have he probably had a lot of goddamn therapy when he was an adult. Or needs a lot of goddamn therapy, you know. And then, so Violet, she chews gum all the time. That's like literally barely important to the story. And it's just like, she does that. Oh, cool. The other character is Mike TV. Teevee. Mike TV. Guess what he's obsessed with? Television. Because his name is TV. Funny shit with that. He's obsessed with TV. Like watching television and shit like that. So, you know, and there's always a sinister man looking over them, which is weird. It's the guy who's supposed to be Slugsworth, but it's not Slugsworth. And also, who's buying fucking Slugsworth? Have some Slugworth candy. Like, ew, no, I'm not gonna. If your last name is Slugworth, don't get into making candy because no one's gonna eat that shit. Then they're like, oh, this guy in Africa got the 5th golden ticket. Oh, in Paraguay. And then I knew it was fake from the beginning because I can't imagine people in Paraguay are able to buy. Like, if Charlie lives in the United Kingdom, England, London, I assume, and he's poor over there. If Charlie's poor, I can't imagine how poor the Paraguay people are. So clearly it's a hoax, but everyone's fucking stupid in this movie for some reason. Charlie loses hope, then finds money, and then eventually buys a Wonka bar. And what do you know? He learns both in the span of a couple minutes, he learns that, oh, the guy from Paraguay was lying because they don't have food in Paraguay. I can't imagine they have food. I'm saying of every country out there, Paraguay does not have food. I can't imagine Paraguay has food. So I'm just putting that point out there. And then Charlie gets the golden ticket. He runs straight home, but not running into Slugsworth first. He's just like, get me that everlasting gobstopper. Though it is a trap. It is a trap, but, you know, it's just, you know, it's how it is. Grandpa Joy, you know, Charlie gets home. He's like, just excited out of his goddamn mind, and like he got the golden ticket, that Grandpa Joe is no longer somehow Grandpa Joe is fine. he pretend, like when someone offers to buy you something like a meal or coffee or whatever, and you know how you do the whole thing where you're just like, no, I can get it, don't get it for me, I'll get it for myself, and then they fight back, and you're like, oh, well, I guess it's because like you need to be like, I'll pay for myself, because it's like you need to let them know that like when they do get it for you, they appreciate it, and also like, hey, I don't need this, but but it's just, I don't know, for some reason it's the right thing to do, just to be like pretend that you're insisting on paying, but after they say, it's like, no, I insist, I'm like, that's when I stop. Some people keep fighting. That's when I stop. I try once and then I stop, what else fucking, so they get to the factory, and then we finally get to see Gene Wilder, who plays Wonka, who is a man out of his goddamn mind. For real, he's just out of his goddamn mind. He's first walking out like being crippled, and then he does a fucking somersault or whatever, and he's like, ah, and he's doing all this fucking goofy ass shit. He's doing goofy ass shit. He's just like, oh, I guess we have to come back the way we came, and then it's just like, wait a minute. Everyone's like, wait a minute, how do we get out? And I'm like, everyone should. After that moment, after I know that, like, oh, we have to go on this tour, or we're fucked, I'm like, god damn, and I would have been like scared for my goddamn life. I'm like, we're not touching fucking shit. If I was the dad, I'd be like, you better not be fucking touching anything, you goddamn piece of shit. Like, we're gonna get out of here alive. I'm not gonna hear the end of this from your mother if you bring this up. And so eventually, they eventually get into the the little park area, and he's like, come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. And who knew Gene Wilder could sing? I guess everyone had to. If you were an actor back then, you had to be able to sing, I guess, because they're just like, it's theater, because like, because I know like the people who can sing do better in getting roles on like, plays and musicals and shit versus like, he sings his gay little song. Oh yeah, then Augustus Gloop, I guess, falls into the fucking chocolate pond, and then he gets sucked into the little pipe thing, and then gets the fucking shot out of there. And the mom's, I feel like this one, I'm just saying, like, everything's edible in here, and then the kid starts drinking the chocolate from the river, and then he falls in the river and then almost dies. I'm like, this one's on Wonka, that one's on Wonka. Okay, Augustus, that one's on Wonka. It'd be like, you don't invite a fat kid into your child. Life advice for everyone out there, but if you own a chocolate factory, do not invite the fattest kid alive to come to your chocolate factory. He will drink out of your chocolate river, and he will almost drown in your chocolate river. Just saying, this one was Wonka's fault. Like, he could have tried to, like, there were plenty of opportunities to help this kid too, like, before he died, but he just died. I'm like, Wonka, I gotta tell you something, bud. That is, there's something in business where, I've seen a comedian start to, like, belittle and be mean to his fans and stuff like that, and then he lost a bunch of fans, and he was like, why did I lose a bunch of fans? I'm like, oh yeah, I can't be dicks to the people who give me money. And I think that happens with Augustus Gloop. And then the Oompa-Loompas sing a gay little song, then we move on. Just gay song, gay little song. Next scene. We've got the everlasting gobstopper with the symbol E. Oh, yeah. And so, so we get some more the eliminations, like the kids. It is weird. Like, you get eliminated, and, like, you were like, are they dead? ? We don't know. We don't know if they died. That's the best part. I don't even think in, like, the Tim Burton movie we confirmed if they died or not. We're just like, alive? ? I don't know. Don't ask me this shit. He's only liable for everyone in that building, He's just the owner of the goddamn company. So, yeah. Talk about a cuss that's falling in the fucking river. Violet turns violet. I always thought that was the joke here. She turns violet because she turns into a blue bear, which violet is purplish blue, right? Am I right here? You know? Purple's a cool color. Oh, wait, no, violet, no, she chews the prototype gum because she's like, I chew gum for a living and I beat this little bitch at back home, you know, and shit like that. You know how little girls talk and shit like that. Funny enough, I don't think Violet was definitely not the worst one. She did get lucky. I feel like Violet is just her dad. I don't know about her mom situation. I don't know. She may need a more strict parental figure, you know, I hope she's fine. I hope Violet turned out fine. If any of the kids could have survived, I think Violet deserved it because they were just like, oh, gum? I like gum. Like, they kind of baited her into that one. Maybe she's okay too. You know? But then, you know, I guess there's the fizzy lifting drink that Grandpa Joe tricked Charlie into. I'm like, God damn it, Grandpa Joe. For fuck's sake. This is a goddamn test to see who wins an entire goddamn Fortune 500. Am I saying that right? Fortune 500 company. Is that correct? Am I correct? I don't know. He drinks a fizzy lifting drink, but luckily Grandpa Joe just fucking burps, and he's like, "Oh, I guess that's the reason why." I'm like, "Hey, Grandpa Joe, you're in public. Maybe don't fucking burp all the time and shit like that." So that scene really was out of nowhere, literally just for the ending of the movie. That also gets resolved very quickly. Who else do we got? Then we get, who's left after that? So, oh yeah, Veruca. After the gold, she wanted a golden goose. She sang a little song about how she wants a golden goose, and then stood up on their good eggs or bad egg list, and died. I guarantee Veruca died, and then her dad jumped in the same hole. He's dead too, by the way. Veruca can die. She was a little. She was fucking annoying. So, fuck you, Veruca. I'm glad you're dead. And then eventually we go into like. This round doesn't, because everything up to this point, like the whole chocolate river, his excuse was it's the best way to mix chocolate. Okay. And then let's look at the gum. So the gum was like, oh, it's a whole meal all in one. It's a cool little invention. Cool. Stuff like that. Then we get, good eggs, bad eggs. I'm like, oh, Easter candy, yada, 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 chocolate eggs, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense. Veruca dies there. Then we get to Mike TV's death. Well, actually, he doesn't die. He just gets small. So he actually probably can burn alive. But he might have, like the movie Downsized. If you've seen that movie, I haven't. But if you did, that one's for you. Oh, yeah, so Mike, they were like, oh, yeah, I wanted to put chocolate in TV. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, these are elaborate setups for every child to kill them. Like, it sounds, after that point, it's like, I think you're trying to murder these children. Like, you know exactly what they love. Candy, the first one was not going to be hard to kill that kid. Gum, like, you made a gum. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Veruca was actually probably lucky. You did not guess that one. And then this one, you clearly guessed them. Like, you were intentionally trying to murder. Because, like, I'm trying to figure out, what's the point of having a giant-ass chocolate bar shrunk down into a normal-sized chocolate bar? Unless, like, your logic is, like, it's bigger flavor, which I don't even know if that would actually, I mean, that could work. But, when, like, you overdo something, like, have you ever put too much cheese on something? It sounds sacrilegious saying that, but it is possible to put too much cheese on something where it's just mostly cheese and you're not getting the protein you need, et cetera, but yeah, so that's how all the kids die. We get to the end of the tour. Wonka's like, I guess you guys can go home now. And then he's just like, and Grandpa's like, where's my goddamn life supply of chocolate? And he's like, I know you guys fucking went into the fizzy drinking lifting room. Don't have to fucking clean that shit. Fuck you guys. Get out of my sight. And then Charlie gives him the everlasting gobstopper that he was told, I was told that if he gave it to Slugsworth, then he'd make like $10,000. But he gave it back to Wonka because he's just like, because I'm like the only good person in this entire fucking movie. And then Wonka's like, have my entire company. And they jump in a glass elevator and they fly out into outer space. Now, I kind of know what happens in the second book. And I know they don't immediately come back down land, help Charlie's family pack and shit. Like, there's a whole ass extra story going on here that they did not want made into a movie because Roald Dahl hated the first one so much. And that's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. A lot of cool stuff, in this movie. It's obviously Gene Wilder. It's a classic. It's a classic movie. When people say they don't like it, like, I get why Roald Dahl doesn't like it because like he wrote the original story, and it's similar to The Shining in that sense, where I think The Shining, the Kubrick version, is a good movie, but if you're going to compare it to book adaptations, it's not a good book adaptation. That's kind of my viewpoint of it, is like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a good movie, but it is not a good book adaptation. It did not adapt the book very well into a movie, like getting the story beats right and wrong, Which, it's weird because the fifth Harry Potter book, Order of the Phoenix, it's not the best book, and even J.K. Rowling has talked about how she wished she would have cut some things. But I think it's Order of the Phoenix is the best Harry Potter movie because of just how they made the movie. So there's that. Roald Dahl, there is a meaning to this story, but Roald Dahl was a cool guy. But what he was a World War II veteran, but I think on the English side too. So on our side, the real side, the good side. But he does not like Jews. And here's the thing, though. He is a very intellectual man, but his thing is like, well, the Jews would have had to done something. The Holocaust doesn't just come out of nowhere. They had to have started it. I'm like, don't make that argument make sense to me. I was like, please do not do that. Because I know you're wrong, but you are making a good point. But the meaning of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, whichever religion you want to subscribe to, is the idea that karma comes back for you. So like you could be a piece of shit, but what you put into the world comes back to you. And though karma probably doesn't exist that much, I like the idea of it, and I think it's a good thing. Put good into the world, you'll get good back. But put good into the world to put good into the world. Don't do it to try to get yourself a reward, Also, Grandpa Joe's a piece of shit. I don't want you guys leaving this episode without knowing he's a piece of shit. And, he should. Of all of them, he should have died in the chalk. Dude, if I had the chance to remake that movie, here's what I would do. Fizzy Lifting Drinks, Grandpa Joe, head cut straight off. Straight off from that fucking fan, dude. And then Charlie burps and falls down, It's like, where's Grandpa Joe? I'm like, I don't know. So obviously, great movie.
Thank you for watching this clip.